So I'm back in New Zealand now. I've just started today, or yesterday actually, another block of training. I gave myself a week, very easy, just did some maintenance sort of training after the Texas 70.3, and I now will start a block of training where it'll be between 6 and 7 weeks before I race again. When you race, you really can't do a lot of training, so especially with 3 half Ironmans in 21 days really. Although you become a bit more race fit and you do stress a few energy systems like your threshold power and that sort of thing, you do detrain basically. So now's the time to go back to basics and start putting in some base training again and topping up the energy levels and the fitness levels, but also working on a few weaknesses which were highlighted through my racing. So I'll be again a heavy focus on my swimming, which although I've showed some good improvement over the last 6 months, it's still not quite where it needs to be, and swim being my weakest, a lot of energy going into that, and also just little things like I'm not quite sharp through transition, and even my endurance was a little bit lacking on the run, which I put that down to basically a missed summer of good quality high mileage running. So that will be another thing I address in the next sort of 7 to 8 weeks before another racing block, sorry. So yeah, after this training, I'll do another racing block, which will most likely be in America. If not, it will be in Australia. There's some good half Ironman racing coming up over there through the sort of August, September, and late into October. Some big events there. I'll then have to have a sort of an off season really, and really just recharge the batteries both physically and mentally. So most likely through late October, early November, I'll be taking a few weeks off, and we'll then build up to the New Zealand season. This year I want to do a few things different with the New Zealand triathlon season. For the last 5 years now, actually 6 years now, Ironman New Zealand's been the main goal of the summer, but I've sort of had a good hard think about what I want to achieve, and ultimately Ironman, especially Ironman Hawaii, is the goal, is the dream. So and I've come to the conclusion that churning out Ironmans possibly, for me at this stage in my career, isn't actually the answer to potentially putting myself in a position to do well in Kona. So I'm going to focus on the 70.3s, or the half Ironman distance obviously this summer, but also I'm going to put a big emphasis on the shorter stuff, which so like the sprint distance, the Olympic distance racing. For a number of reasons, it really makes me focus on the swim, which when you're training for Ironman it can get a bit neglected, and I can't afford to neglect it, because it doesn't matter what distance you race, you have to be in the front pack, whether it's ITU or Ironman. So doing the shorter course racing, it forces me to swim more racing, higher emphasis on my swim training. Also the run speed as well. I'm probably in a strange position where I'm 25 and have got 5 years of Ironman racing under my belt. So it'd be nice to actually try and harness some of that endurance and some strength that I've built up and put it into some speed, both on the bike and the run, but more so the run. It's also a bit of variety as well. I think a lot of athletes, now that you have to specialise now, a lot of the Ironman athletes possibly just get into a cycle of just endurance or Ironman type training, and for me, I kind of think that mixing it up a bit, especially for a certain period of the year, through our New Zealand summer, was going to be good for me long term. And again, once that's over, it will be back to my more specific 70.3 training, where they're the goals. That's the goal of, well, this year, but also next year. As it's the passion. It's what I enjoy. And to be honest, it's what I'm good at. It's what I'm better at. It's not the Olympic distance type stuff. Isn't what I'm good at, but I'm going to see it. I'm going to use it as a training tool.